Okay, and welcome back, students who are taking the Math for Business and Finance and Math Applications. We're working on the Chapter 7 word problems, the odd number problems, and we left off on 7-31. So when I look at 7-33, it refers to problem 7-32, so I'm going to work 7-32 also here. Okay. Bally Manufacturing sent Intel Corp an invoice, get my ink pen, for machinery with a $14,000 list price. Bally dated the invoice July 23 with a 2% 10 end of month terms. Intel receives a 40% trade discount. Intel pays the invoice on August 5th. How much does, what does Intel pay Bally? Okay, so Bally sends an invoice for $14,000. Intel receives a 40% trade discount, so 40% of 40% discount of 14,000. It's easier for me to just say they have to pay 100% minus 40% or 60%. So if I multiply the 14,000 by the 60%, I end up with $8,400 is what Intel must pay. Okay. I'm not concerned with how much the discount amount is, even though I could take 40% of 14,000 to find that out. Now, Intel pays the invoice on August 5th. Right? What does Intel pay Bally? So the invoice is dated 7/23/23. And the terms are 2% 10 end of month. Now remember, the end of month means the 25th. If the invoice is dated 25th or prior, which it is, it's dated on the 23rd. So what that means is the invoice gets paid, the discount period extends to the 10th of the month of the following month. So if this was July, it gets extended to August. So they have until August 10th in order to pay the invoice and take the discount. Well, they're paying it on August 5th, so it falls within that discount period. So they're able to take a discount on the 8,400. Okay. Now, it's a 2% discount, and they're taking it on the 8,400. Some might question, well, why can't I take the 2% on the 14,000? Well, the trade discount supersedes the terms discount. In other words, if you have a trade discount and a terms discount, you're always going to take the trade discount first. All right. And that's why we took the 40% off of the 14,000 and ended up with 8,400, because that's what's owed. We don't know, we're taking that trade discount immediately. Okay. We don't know when this 8,400 is going to be paid. I mean, they're paying it on August 5th, but they could have just as easily paid it on August 15th and not had any discount. Okay, so you're not taking the 2% off the 14,000 because that's a term. All right, you don't know when it's going to be paid, right? Whether it's going to be eligible for a discount or not. So you took the trade discount off and ended up with 8,400. And if we have 8,400, and then we take the 2%, right? The inverse of that is 98%. So 8,400 times 98% is $8,232 is how much Intel is going to pay Bally on August 5th. Right? Now, problem 7-33. On August 1st, Intel Corp returns $100 of the machinery due to defects. What does Intel pay Bally on August 5th, and we're going to round to the nearest. All right. So let me just erase some of this and just write this stuff in up here. So I have with the discount, the price, the trade discount, the price is 8,400, and since it falls within the discount period, they're going to pay 82.32. Okay, so that's for problem 7-32. Now, for problem 7-33, right, on August 1st, okay, so there's the invoice is dated 7/23. Okay, and that was they're buying it for 14,000. Okay, and they get a 40% discount. Right, so let me write that in as a trade discount. But it says here on August 1st, Intel returns $100 of the machinery due to defects. Okay, so they're not taking 40% off of 14,000. $100 was returned. So the invoice amount is 13,900. I mean, the sale price is 13,900, and now they can take the trade discount of 40%. So we multiply that by 60%, and we end up with $8,340. Okay. It says, what does Intel pay Bally on August 5th? Okay, so it's basically the same thing. We know that it falls within the discount period because we figured that out in problem 7-32. And we have the 83.40. And since they're getting a 2% discount and we only want to know what the net price is, we take the reciprocal, the complement. So 100 minus 2% is 98%. So we multiply the 83.40 by 98%, and we end up with $8,173.20 for the amount that needs to be paid by Intel to Bally for problem 7-33. Okay, I hope that would, that seemed to be relatively straightforward. Let's look at 7-35, which is the last of our drill problems, and then we'll move on to the additional set of, the last of our word problems, but we'll move on to the additional set of word problems for more practice. So on 7-35 here, on March 11th, Jangles Corporation received a $20,000 invoice dated March 8th. So March 8th, they received a $20,000 invoice. The March 11th is irrelevant. It has nothing to do with the problem. The invoice is dated March 8th. The discount terms were 4% 10, net 30. On March 15th, Jangles sent an $8,000 partial payment. What should Jangles receive? What is Jangles' outstanding balance? Okay. Let's see here. So if the invoice was dated 3/8 and we have a discount period of 4% 10, so we had 10 days, which means by 3/18 they would receive a 4% discount. So on March 15th, Jangles sent an $8,000 partial payment. What should Jangles receive? Okay. Remember, if we, this is similar to, let me just go back and look there. Which problem was that? Which problem was that? Come on. We did an earlier problem, and that's what I'm looking for, is trying to find that problem. So give me 1 second here, or I'm just going to scrap the idea and work with what I have. And I'm going to scrap the idea because I can't just easily find it. Okay, so they're paying $8,000. Okay, and remember, since it's a partial payment, they don't, as far as Jangles is concerned, they're paying the full 8,000, but since they're paying it within the discount period, they're getting an additional credit. I remember where that is. They're getting problem, okay. If you go back to problem 7-19 in the drill problems, okay, that's where we spent a pretty long discussion on how much there's being credited. So I'm not going to go all through that again. Go back to problem 7-19 in order to see the thinking, the thought process behind that. Okay. And so with this problem, right, Jangles is paying 8,000 as a partial payment, right? So their balance isn't the 20,000 minus the 8,000, okay? Why? Which would mean a balance of 12,000. Their balance isn't 12,000, right? Their balance is less because they're making that their partial payment, right? So they're going, the amount needs to be greater than the 8% because they're falling within the discount period. So in order to get that, we're going to divide by, right, since it's 4%, 100% minus the 4%, we're going to divide by the 96%, or 0.96. So if we take 8,000 and divide it by 0.96, right, we end up with 8,333.33. Okay, that's the amount that's going to be credited to their account because they paid the partial payment of 8,000, but they're also due a credit for the 4%, since they paid it within the discount period. So now that means we have 20,000, and if we take away the 8,333.33 is the credit, the amount that now they have as an outstanding balance is $11,666.67. Okay. All right. This is we're at 13 minutes, but I'm just going to quickly go back over this. Come on. Quickly go back over this to make it a little bit clearer. If you understood that, then obviously stop the video. But if not, watch this quick summary. All right. And remember, go back to problem 7-19, which gives a lot more of an explanation as the thought process. Okay. So it says on March 11th, Jangles receives a $20,000 invoice dated March 8th. So March 11th has nothing to do with the problem. Right, so we have March 8th. The terms are 4% 10, net 30. So we have 10 days takes us to 3/18 to be able to take a 4% discount. They're paying on March 15th, which is within the discount period, so they're able to get the discount. Now, the invoice is for 20,000, but because Jangles is only going to pay 8,000 as a partial payment, yes, their account is going to be credited the 8,000, but it needs to be credited an additional amount, an additional 4% of something, because they are paying within that discount period. And to determine that amount, we're going to divide by the reciprocal or the complement of the 4%, which is 96%. Okay, so 100% minus 4% is 96%. In a decimal form, that's 0.96. So if I take 8,000 and I divide by 0.96, okay, I end up with $8,333.33. So that's the total amount that I'm going to be credited. 8,000 of it is what I'm paying, and this 3,333.33 is because of the 4% discount. So that's my discount amount, and I subtract it from the 20,000, and that gives me a balance of $11,666.67 that's owed on the account. All right. So with that said, I'm done with the word problems, but I'm going to work through the additional set of word problems that are at the end of this chapter in order to get more exercises, more work at doing this. So I'll see you in the next video.